Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to learn about another React hook that's useContext. But first of all, let's see uh, if we want to share a state between across the components, across various components in React. How we do that with is we pass props to the child components from a parent component. Um, and if we have a and if we pass a state and if we want to change the state inside from a component or outside a component, we pass the set state as well to the child components. So let's see, let's make a theme changing button here. As you can see, these days every website, every web app has two modes, dark mode and light mode. Let's try to replicate here by using simple React props. So here I have a simple React app. I'm using React router for routing. So I have a home page here, home route here. If I click on this is my home route where these components are rendering component 1, component 2 and component 3. And a test page here. If I click on the test, you can see my URL is changing from localhost 5173 slash to localhost 5173 test slash test. So I have these routes here. In the left hand side you can see this home page and this test.jsx. This is my route. The route is the layout where I'm rendering this nav bar. I've not created an specific component for the nav bar. I have written the markup for the nav bar inside the layout. I have not created a separate component for the nav bar as such. So inside the nav bar, I'm rendering these two links, and as I showed you, the home link takes me to slash, and test page link takes me to slash test. So let's see. In the home route, I want to create a button, and when I click on that button, the color inside each component should change to black. Just trying to, not exactly creating the dark mode and light mode here, just trying to see how we can accomplish this with help of props. So let's do this. Let's go into our home component. So I have these three components. Let's wrap these three components inside a separate div. So let me create a div and let me save this. So let me style this a bit. Class name, I'm going to give it a flex, and flex by default has a direction of row. So if I save, these will be arranged in row again. So let me give a gap between the components, gap of let's say 4 or 6. You can see now this is a little bit of gap between the components. So let me go inside each component and let me accept a prop here. Inside each component I want to accept a prop. Theme is going to be a string that each component will accept, and will pass that string from the parent component. So based on this theme we want to conditionally do something. So let me take this class name and cut it, and instead of this string I want to wrap these in backticks. So Control V, So now we can dynamically render the background color of these components. So let's say, let me create a one taller and these curly brackets so I can write JavaScript inside it. So let me conditionally render here. Theme, if theme, I'm going to use the ternary operator here. If theme equal to light, if this condition is satisfied, if sorry, I need to wrap this in quotes. If theme is equal to light, theme value is this string light, then we're going to set the class name bg white. Else, if the value of this theme prop is not equal to light, if it's dark or anything else, we can render bg red, I say 900. So as you can see, the theme is basically, the theme is undefined as of now. So it checks if the theme is light. So the theme value is undefined. So it does not give it a background of white. So by default, it gives it a background of 900. So let me do this for other components as well. Let me copy this whole div actually. Copy this, go to component 2, paste it here, and accept a prop here. Theme, save this, go to component 3, paste it here as well. Component 3, accept a prop. Theme. So now each and every one of our components has a dark color. So inside though, so these components, component 1, component 2, component 3, are the children of this home page. I'm rendering these components inside this home page. So let me create a state here. First of all, let me create a button below this. Let me give this a flex of call, so the button is rendered below these 3 components. Flex of column. Let me render a button here. Let me give this a name of mode. As you can see, let me give a gap between these, gap of 10. So now there's a gap between these components and this button. Let's make it look like it's a button. So let's give it a class name of padding of y2, padding of x, let's give it a padding of 10, rounded, large, and a border. Let's save. Now we have a button. For now this is good. Now we can work with this. Let me give it a border of 800 as well. Border red 800. Now this is more visible. Actually, let's give it a border black. Okay, so we have this button. So when I click on this button, the background of these components should change. Let me create a state here then. Const theme. Remember, the prop that we are taking inside each one of these components. We named it theme. So just to be consistent, we'll uh, name our state theme as well. Theme, set theme. Use state. And let's give it a default value of light string. So we have created this theme. So let me pass this theme as prop to these three components. So I'll say theme. We are destructuring theme theme here in the components. You can see theme. So we need to give on the left hand side, we need to give exactly what we are destructuring in the component. So theme is equal to this theme. Now we will reference this theme. So inside every one of these, all right, theme. As you can see, the default value of the theme is light. So when I pass this theme to every component, it checks. Let's see this component 3. It checks if theme is equal to light, it's giving it a background of white. So it works. Okay, so let's go to home page again. So let's wire it with this button so that we can toggle this. So let me add a on click listener here to the button. So upon clicking, let's take the previous state. No, actually, let's check first. Theme. If theme equaled light, theme equal to light, or we can do it like this. We can reference a function here, handle click, handle click, or we can say handle mode toggle, and let's create this function over here, const handle mode toggle. So this is an arrow function. So inside, what we're going to do is set theme. This is going to take a callback previous state, and it's going to check previous equal to light. If it's equal to light, then ternary here, then we're going to set the theme to dark as we are toggling it dark. And if not, then we're going to set it to light. So let me save this, and this should work fine. So let's click. So as you can see, it's working fine. When I click on the button, the color is changing, the background color of the components is changing. But so this is our home page, but if I click on this test page, okay, what's going on? Okay, why is the color changing here? Let me see this. Okay, so home, Okay, okay. So if I click on this test page, uh, if I click on the mode here, uh, click on test page, as we are rendering the same components here in the test page, uh, the these components rendering component 1 and component 2 and component 3 here, and I'm rendering the same components, component 1, component 3 here. So when I change the when I toggle the state using this button, the background of these components is changing. But what if we have nested components? Then we need to pass these props like we did here to those nested components as well. And if we had some other components which were not nested components, and we need to mm, change the let's say the dark and light mode there, then we would need to take our this state, then we'll need to take this state to the topmost component in the component tree, and pass this theme prop down the component tree to each and every one of the components that needs the mode to be changed on a button toggle. So as you can see, this is going to be a lot of work to overcome this problem. React has provided us a hook that is called useContext hook. So if we see this, we have this state hook, use state hook. Use state hook is generally used for component wise states. It's good for states that are specific to a component, and we can do we can pass props using use state to down the component tree, let's say to to let me put this. So we can pass this state to down the component tree, let's say to second level, third level, but after that it's going to be a lot of work and our code is going to be messy. So to overcome this, we need a global state. What is a global state? So we need a state that every component in our app has access to, and we don't need any prop drilling to do that. So for that, React has given us this use context hook. So let me try to explain how that use context hook works in React. So let me erase the state here. So let me create a separate folder here. Let's call it contexts. Contexts. So inside this context, I'm going to create a file called, let's say, theme provider. Theme provider dot JSX. This is going to be a simple React component. Let's say RC theme provider. So inside this, we need to import a few things. Let's say import create context from React. So this is a function that React provides us to create a context or to create a global state. So we can now create a variable here, const theme. Let's give it the name of theme context. Theme context is equal to create context. So what this is going to do is this is going to create a global state and save it in this theme context. So inside this component, now we're going to create a state. Let's say theme, just like we did there in the home component. We're going to name this toggle theme. No, let's say set theme. Use state. And by default, we're giving it a value of light. So, and we're going to create a function, an arrow function here, const toggle theme to toggle modes dark and light. Toggle theme. This is going to be an arrow function that'll do exactly the same thing that we did in the home page. Let's say it's going to take a callback. It's going to take the previous value of the state and see if the previous value of the state is equal to light. Then it's going to toggle it to dark. Else it's going to set it to light. If it's not equal to light, then it's going to set it to light, like that. So instead of rendering this div here, we're going to render this theme context dot provider. It gives us this provider that wraps everything. Actually, this acts as a parent component to our app, and this parent component provides this theme variable to every component in the component tree. Just like in the home page, the parent component was home. We had a function in there to set the theme and a button. Similarly, here we have we have created this function in the parent component. This is going to be a parent component. Let me complete this first. Let me, in order to make you understand better. So this is a theme provider. This is going to wrap the children. That will be passed to it by props. So what this theme context.provider does is it acts as a parent component, and it has a state of its own. It has a state changing function. You can pass this set theme directly if you want to. You can create another various methods inside this provider and pass it as a value. Pass everything. If you create, let's say, more arrow functions, more states in here, you can pass all of these in this value prop that it has. Value, it's going to take this as an object. We're going to pass this theme that we need. Based on this, we're going to render the background color. So let's see, theme and a toggle theme, and this function toggle theme we're going to take. So what this theme context.provider is, it's basically a parent component that will wrap around our app, so that each and every component in our app has access to this theme and this function toggle theme. So let me see this. So now we need to wrap the app inside this theme provider component. What is this theme provider component? This is a provider component that returns this theme context.provider component that takes the children. So anything we wrap inside this theme provider is going to have access to this theme and toggle theme function. So let's do this. So let's go to the main component of our app. So we have this main component. So we're going to wrap this router provider inside our theme provider. So let me theme provider VS Code is going to import this automatically. As you can see, it has imported it. So let me cut this and wrap this router provider inside our theme provider, and let me save this. So far so good. So let me check if we need to do anything else. Go to this theme provider. Okay, so in the home component, let me erase this state. I need this function as well. Instead of as you can see, let me undo this. We were passing this state that was a state of this home component that we were passing down as props. So one thing we can do here is we can erase this everything, and we can import to use. Now we are using the context that we created. We're going to use this first to test it inside this home component. So let me import use context hook that React provides. Use context hook. So, and I'm going to import. Yeah, we need to export this as well. Export const this theme context. So we are exporting this theme constant as context as well, so that we can use it in the components where we want the context. So we want it in the home now, so we're going to import it in the home component. So me import theme context as VS Code is giving me suggestions. So this is a named import theme context. So let me use it here. So const. Let me destructure. Let's say okay, let's destructure this. It's going to give us what we have in our context. We have a theme, and that's a variable that stores a string, and a function, toggle function, that toggles it to light and dark. So let me destructure theme and toggle. Let me see what I have named it. Toggle. Oh, sorry. Theme provider. Toggle theme. Theme and toggle theme. Destructuring it using use context, and what is the name of our context? So theme. So we need to specify the context. This means we can create as many contexts as we want, and we can nest contexts in our app. So let me save this, and as you can see, automatically this theme is passed to these components as prop. So instead of setting this button on click to handle mode toggle that we have erased now, I can set it to toggle theme. And I can save it. And let me see if it works. Let me refresh the page. Let me refresh this page as well. Home. So if I click on mode, you can see color is background is changing. So now we are using a global state. So instead of doing it in here, I can completely erase this and use the context inside the component where I want it. So erase these props. Let me cut this button as well. Let me render this button on the nav bar now. So let me go to the nav bar in the root, in the layout component. So instead of rendering this item, let me instead render a button here for now. Not looking so good, so we'll style it. Let me erase this styling and let me dark. Let me see if no mode. No, we don't have any icon libraries installed, so let me install npm lucid react. This is an icon library that gives you beautiful icons. So that's installed. Let me clear this. So let me see if we have a dark theme icon or more toggle icon. We don't. Let me Google it. Use it. React dark theme icon. Sun moon. We have this sun moon, so okay, we can use it. Sun moon. Let me see if this gives me any suggestion. Okay, here we go. If I save this, nothing. Let me run the project again. Let me refresh this. Nothing. Okay, now we have this sun. Let's give it a color of white text, and we have this beautiful looking button in here. Okay, so let me add an on click listener to it. Let's give this an empty arrow function for now. So what I want to do is when I click on this icon, this dark and light theme icon, the color of the components should change. So, and I'm not passing any props to the components now. I have erased those states, I have erased those props. Now I'll use context directly inside any component I want. So let me, and I'll use context in the layout as well for this toggle function. As you can see now, I'll be changing the mode from the nav bar, that's a separate component inside a layout page. I'm going to change the state. So let's do this. So I'm going to import use context first of all. That'll let us have the access to the context. We have an import theme context that we created, theme context. I'm going to destructure const theme. We only need toggle theme here. Let me destructure both. Toggle theme. Can use context and give it an argument of theme context. So actually we also need the theme in here. No, we don't. We have handled that thing in the, so I can reference toggle theme here. I have not imported it correctly, so let me import this toggle theme. Okay, so if I click on this, nothing will happen because we have not imported the context in the components yet. So let's go to the components and see. Okay, let's go to the components, component 1. So what we need to do is the same thing that we did in the root. So let me copy this. We need to import these two things in the components as well. Go to component 1. Let's say if I want to change the background color in only selected components, let's say component 1 and component 3, then we'll use the context in those components only. So let me paste it here. So we're importing these. Again, I need to destructure theme and toggle theme. Toggle theme is going to be use context. I'll take our context that we created as an argument, give us these things. It's giving us an error. Why is that? Oh, I need to erase the prop that we. Okay, so if I click on this button here right now, you can see we can toggle the background color of the component. So this is here we are using the global state. Now we can use any other component to do this. Let me I have a nested component here. Let's go to the test page. Let me render the nested component in here. Let me go to this test page and render the nested component. Save it. As you can see, I have this nested component. So if I want to change the background color of this nested component inside another page. Till now we were talking about components. We were passing the state across components, down the component tree. Now we can pass the state across pages. That means across routes. When the URL of our browser changes and it takes us to the next page, we can use this state there as well. So we have this nested component. We're not using we are not using this nested component in the home page. We're using it only the test page, but we need to toggle its background color on this button click. How do you do that? Let me comment out these. So as you can see, if I click on this button, we're not able to change the background color of this nested component. So let's use the context that we created inside this nested component as well. So now, till now we were using context across components. Now we're using it across pages. So go inside the nested component. Let's paste these imports. Let's destructure the const theme toggle theme use context theme context. So let's see if we want to toggle the text color of this text nested component. So I can wrap it inside a paragraph tag. Give this a class name dynamically using backticks, $, curly braces, theme equal to dark, then give this text color of indigo, font bold, indigo 500, font bold, text 3XL. And if not, and if the theme is light, then what we're going to do is Control C outside this, Control Z side quotes. Let's give this red 500. So by default, our theme is light, but we're checking for dark. It's not dark. If you see in the theme provider, we have use a default value of light. If we go to this nested component, so the default value is light. We have not done anything. If I refresh the page, we have not done anything. The default value is light. Here it's checking if the theme is light. No, it's not light. Then it's not going to set the color to indigo. It's going to set it to red, which we can see here. The text color is red, so it's working fine. Now if we toggle the state, let's see what happens. As you can see, it's working fine. Here is changed. Here we have set it to change the text color. And in the home page, we have set. We have used this context to change the background colors of these components. We have wired only component 1, if you remember. We have not. We have used the colors dynamically. If we go to components, why this is. If you're wondering why these are still brown, let me show you. If we go to component 2, we're still taking that prop. So if I remove this prop, remove this dynamic thing, you can see back to normal. Component 3, let's do the same. Not taking the props again. Erase this. Now you can see if I toggle here, the background of this component is changing. If I go to test page, toggle, you can see the color of the text changing. So the point of showing you to change the background here and to change the text color here is to understand that we can use this context state, this global state, to do anything in our app. So the context is used also for authentication. So if a user is authenticated, and then we will create a state is authenticated. So based on that, if a user is authenticated, we'll show the user a certain pages of our apps that only authenticated users can see. And we can store tokens in the context so that we can decode those tokens and take the user data out of those tokens and use that information in our app. So this is how useContext is used. So this is one way we can use global states in React using context. There are various global state management libraries like Redux. Redux is the most popular one. Those libraries can be used to handle complex global states. So that was all about context. I hope you liked the video. Thank you.